Hi, hope all is well. If you're watching this video, I assume it's because you're dealing with lust and you're tired of it. I know that's how I was feeling when I was dealing with lust. I dealt with lust for about 24 years. I started at the age of 5, and I didn't realize that I had a problem until I was 22. And once I realized, I just started studying the topic of lust. I was tired of being in that lustful cycle. So I started studying it scientifically and spiritually, just looking for a change. And it took me 7 years to finally figure out how to change. But once I got it, I got it. And now I can get anything I want. Now, do I get it automatically? No, but I eventually get it. And I've tested this theory multiple times, and it works every time. You can dare to say that I'm rich, and when you use the word like rich, a lot of people's minds go to financially. Now, am I financially rich? Depends on who you ask. If I want to get a haircut, I can get a haircut. If I want to get a decent meal, I can get a decent meal. If I want to go on vacation, I can go on vacation. So I'm far from the richest man in the world, but I'm blessed to say I'm far from the poorest man in the world too. But when I use the word rich, I'm not talking about financial and material things. No, I'm rich because I've realized how to use the mind, how the mind was intended to be used. You see, when I was lusting, I was constantly chasing. And if you dealt with lust, you know what I'm talking about. You're constantly chasing women, chasing dopamine. You're just in this chasing stage. And, that's probably why a lot of lustful people feel so drained because we're constantly chasing. But once I learned how to use my mind, I learned how to create. So, now I'm creating my life instead of, chasing that next dopamine. And, if you don't believe me, the proof is in the pudding. I'm currently recording this video from Thailand. Uh, I got a teaching job in Thailand, not because I was overly qualified, no, but because I created that life in my mind first, right? So you got a black man in Thailand. I said I want to do this in January. It is July now, and I'm here in Thailand. So again, I created this. I did. It's nothing that I was prepared for. I sat down, told God, universe, whatever you want to call it. I told it what I wanted, and I believed it was going to happen. And lo and behold, now I'm here in Thailand. And again, this is nothing that I grasped overnight. It took me years of studying, listening to people like Bob Proctor, Neville Goddard, uh, Jim Rohn, and also, studying semen retention. I went deep into the depths of lust, So I studied the monks. I've studied where the origins came from, and I figured out when you combine semen retention with uh, the teachings of how powerful the mind is and how to create, man, you get something spectacular. So, what taught me 7 years, I want to help others cut back on that time. Now, again, this is nothing you're going to get overnight. You're going to have to repeatedly hear this message over and over again. But just like anything else, the more you practice it, the quicker it'll come to you. So let me go over a few steps of how I learned how to create my own life and to stop lusting. Because what I realized, when you're creating, the last thing you're thinking about is chasing meaningless relationships or watching meaningless videos. Once you learn how powerful your mind is, you become more careful and more aware of what you put in it. So here's the first thing you got to do. The first thing you got to do is stop identifying yourself with somebody who is dealing with lust. Okay, so that was my main problem. I used to say, man, I'm dealing with lust, I'm dealing with lust. That's the constant reminder I'll put into my mind, and all that did was reinforce those habits of, man, I'm dealing with lust. So instead of trying to change the lust, I was just trying to resist it. So once I changed my thought patterns from I'm a man struggling with lust to I'm not a man struggling with lust, or I don't watch this, I don't chase women, that's when my life started to change. Again, even if I was still in that, vibration, I would tell myself I'm not dealing with it over and over and over again. And I'll believe it. Of course I messed up, I'm human, but by me reinforcing that, it just was telling my subconscious, I'm not a man that deals with lust. I'm a man that creates my life. After you do that, you have to sit down and figure out what it is you really want out of life. What is it you want to create? Is it a job opportunity you want? Is it a business you want? Is it a certain amount of money you want? You have to sit down in silence and really figure out what it is that you want. Because again, you can have anything you want, but you're going to have to sit down and actually figure out. A lot of people drift between what they want. Oh, I want to lot of money, or I want this job, or I want that job. Sit down and specifically tell yourself, God, the universe, what it is that you want. Three, you have to believe you're going to get it. You have to believe you're going to get it. Whatever you set in your mind, you got to believe that with all your heart. You got to believe, you got to know that it's going to happen. And it repeats that in the Bible over and over again. All the studyings I've done, it repeats, you have to have faith. You have to sit down, say what you want, and then you have to believe you're going to get said thing. That's the only way it's going to work. Now, don't think you're going to get it automatically. That's not how it works. Sometimes you get it sooner than expected. Sometimes you get it later than expected. But if you keep that thought in your mind, is no way that you can't get it, because that is going to tell your subconscious that you already got it. And that's the key. You want to feel like you already got it. You want to have that feeling. I remember when I first said I want to move to Thailand. When I showered, I would be like, man, I can't believe I'm showering in Thailand right now. When I ate, man, I can't believe I'm eating in Thailand right now. I was in the States, but I trained my mind to already believe that I was in Thailand. And it's crazy how it happened, because I just applied for like 50 jobs in Thailand. And the one that I wanted, I got. And it's funny because initially I didn't get the job, but I still had that belief that I was going to Thailand. And about a week later, they hit me up saying, hey, we got another job opportunity. Would you be interested? Of course, I'll be interested. So you have to, one, reinvent yourself, reinvent the person that you have in your mind. Don't view yourself as somebody dealing with lust. No, view yourself as bringing number two, whatever it is that you want, as a successful business owner, as um, I don't know what your dreams are, multimillionaire, whatever it is you want. Start identifying yourself as that. Don't keep identifying yourself as, man, I'm dealing with lust, man, I'm struggling, because all that's going to do is make you relapse. Again, I've dealt with this for 7 years, and that's how I was identifying myself, and I would always relapse. It wasn't until I reinvented myself in my mind that I started getting what I wanted. Now, two, sit down and figure out what it is you want. Come up with a specific goal. Three, believe you're going to get that goal. You have to believe with all your heart you're going to get that goal. Don't rush it. You can put a date on it, but don't rush it. You should expect it, but don't rush it. Okay. So that is how I overcame lust. And I don't even want to say I overcame lust, because I'll go into another topic of overcoming lust and how you do that. But that's how I stay away from lust. Okay. And again, this is nothing you're going to get overnight. Okay. You may relapse more times than you want to, but remember, it's all a process. Okay. You have to coming to terms that, one, you're not a man that's struggling with lust. You're a man that is going to create his life. And two, you have to believe that whatever life it is you created in your head is going to come into fruition. Okay. You have to play a game with yourself. You have to believe that anything you want, you already have, right? And then eventually it'll come. Again, the proof is in the pudding, man. I'm a black man who's been teaching for 3 years, so it's not like I'm overqualified and got this job. No, I got this job because I sat down, I created in my mind. Lo and behold, here I am. So I'm going to be teaching you guys throughout this channel how you can do the same thing that I did. Okay. And my goal is to not let it take 7 years had taught me, because again, I went into depths, man. When I say I studied, I don't want to say every book, but I studied a lot of books. I studied a lot of people just on the topic of lust and how to overcome it. And I realized the only way to overcome lust is to overcome your mind. Your mind is your greatest enemy, but it's also your best friend, depending on how you use it. God bless, man. Please, if you're interested in this sort of topic, follow this channel. I got more subjects like this coming. You can join my free brotherhood community. I'll put the link below. My goal is to help you overcome lust, because again, I know how difficult it is to be dealing with lust and feel like you're constantly chasing. And I'm telling you, as a man who's been on both sides, chasing and creating is where you want to be. I can do it, which means you can do it. I've dealt with lust for 24 years, started when I was 5. I'm 29 now. So it took me to the age of 22 when I realized I had a problem, 7 years of studying to master it. My goal for you is to reduce that time. So if you like this channel, like and subscribe. More videos to come. I promise I'm going to put the best content out there, because again, I've been studying this since I was 22 years old, and I think I got it. Not I think, I know I got it, because once I got it, I got it. All right. God bless.